Hey! So I heard that you wanted to learn how to make white rice. Let's do it. Making white rice is pretty simple, and technically you only need 3 ingredients if you compile all the seasonings together as one. So yeah, let me walk you through it. First things first, you're going to need a cup of rice. I am using jasmine rice, but you can use any type of rice you prefer. Filling it right to the top of our measuring cup. This is probably the most important step you have to take when it comes to making rice, and that is washing your rice. So we're taking the 1 cup of rice that we have here. This is long grain jasmine rice, and I'm gonna put it in this strainer, and we're going to run it over or under some cold water until the water underneath runs clear. You will get a lot of conflicting views about whether or not you should wash your rice on the internet. Some people say yes, other people say no. I say absolutely. Why? Because you're washing off all the excess starch that is on the grain itself, which will make it more likely for your rice to come out soggy and nasty after you cook it. And we don't want that. So we rinse it off in cold water just to make sure that it does not happen. The rice is nice and washed now, so I'm just gonna leave this off to the side in the measuring cup just so water doesn't drip everywhere all over the counter while we work on the most important part of a rice recipe, which is the broth. A nice rule of thumb for you to remember when making rice is that rice is always a 2-to-1 ratio. Meaning, if you're cooking 1 cup of rice, then you're going to be using 2 cups of liquid. So if you go up, say you want to do 2 cups of rice, then you're going to do 4 cups of liquid, and so on and so forth. So right here I have 2 cups of water that I'm going to turn into vegetable broth. And of course I am using my favorite broth of all time, better than bouillon, in the vegetable base flavor. Now you can use vegetable, you can use chicken, you can use beef, it's all a matter of preference. And this is just condensed stock basically. So I'm just gonna take a teaspoon of this, put it in our water, and give it a stir so that we have a flavorful base to start with. Now you don't necessarily have to use this. You could also get the cartons of broth, the bouillon cubes also. It's all a matter of preference. I personally think that Better Than Bouillon is just far superior than all the rest, so I highly recommend. To the broth, I'm going in with some pink salt. I'm going to use about a teaspoon. You could do either half a teaspoon or a teaspoon of salt, all depending on your preference. I'm gonna throw that right into the broth. And I know a teaspoon kind of sounds like a lot, but we are working with a very flavorless grain that is white rice. So the more seasoning, the better. So a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of pink salt. Then I'm doing 1 full teaspoon of granulated garlic, if not 1.5. So 1.5. And then I'm going in with a dried bay leaf. Now this is what I consider to be a secret weapon when it comes to white rice. Why? Because it gives the rice a very subtle herbal flavor that is deep and rich, and I just absolutely love it. So I just stick 1 leaf in there. This is what it looks like. Literally like a dried leaf, but the flavor is immaculate. And we're gonna drop it right in there too. And then give all this a stir. Now I know this doesn't seem like a lot, salt, garlic, and a bay leaf and vegetable broth, but when it comes to white rice, I personally think the simpler the better, just because of the type of grain that it is. So we give this a stir. And now I'm gonna go and get my medium pot. So this pot is about 2.5 quarts, so it fits about, what is that? A quart is 4 cups. So there's 8, 9, 10 cups of water in here. You do need a medium-sized pot, not a small one, because grains typically double in size. So you need enough space for it to do its thing, you know? So I'm pouring in my broth. Pouring everything into the pot, bay leaf included. And make sure you get all that seasoning in there. I honestly didn't learn how to make rice on the stove until I was well into adulthood, and that is saying a lot considering I graduated from culinary school and everything and still did not know how to make rice properly on the stove. But shout out to my friend who actually taught me how to make white rice in a pot, and now I'm teaching you what I learned. So I have my pot on medium-high heat because we want to bring this broth to a boil. So we just kind of just let it go and let it do its thing, because you know how they say a watch pot never boils? I think it's true. So we're just gonna let it sit here for a little while and wait. While we wait for our water to boil, let me know in the comments some other foods that you would love to learn how to make. There's nothing off limits, there's nothing that is too easy or too hard. Let me know down below so that I could teach you how to make it confidently in your kitchen. Okay, we have a steady boil going, so now I'm going to lower the heat and we're gonna put in our washed rice very carefully so you don't burn yourself. And we're gonna give it a stir. And then we're going to cover it with our pot lid, wherever I find it. Oh, here it is. We're gonna cover it with our pot lid and let this cook for 15 minutes. Okay, the 15 minutes is up, so I turn off my flame and take my pot off of the burner that I was using. If you're using an actual stove, you just could move this to a different burner that's not hot. I'm just gonna use a towel since this is a single burner stove. And we're going to leave this covered for 5 more minutes so that the steam could trap in the rice and make it fluffy. The 5 minutes is up, so let's see how our rice is looking. Excellent and beautiful. All right, so now you can see that the bay leaf is right there, so we kind of just take that out because we don't want to eat that. And you're going to use a fork, not a spoon, to fluff your rice up. So we're just going to give it a little fluff. Isn't it beautiful, y'all? Look at that. Now you have a bowl of rice that you could confidently bring to your family table without any scrutiny. I hope you enjoyed this quick and easy white rice recipe. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And tune in next time where I show you how to make brown rice.